Hi, everybody. It's Chris Murray here, founder of the Childcare Success Academy and the Childcare Success Summit, and we help preschool leaders and owners dramatically improve their enrollment, their business success, and the culture of their program, their hiring, and everything that goes along with that. So today's class is all about digging in with you on your enrollment building. And I am in my very casual Friday outfit. You get to see me with no makeup on and no hair done today. In today's class, I want to teach you a little bit about how to think about closing your tours. So in a typical preschool tour or visit, when you are taking parents around and trying to engage them to enroll with you, most of you, we find, are still not really closing your tour. And I think a lot of this comes from a mindset challenge. It comes from thinking that you don't want to be salesy for parents and for children. And I totally get that, that thinking. However, there's ways that you can close your tour. And I like to use the word invite. I think that when you invite parents to enroll and get registered, it sounds softer. And I think it's a great way for you as a go-to to rather than trying to sell them into your program, is just to make a very loving, authentic invitation to get started. And so backing up from that a little bit, when you think about the parent's perspective, you think about when you're doing a tour and what's going on in the parent's mind and the parent's day. Oftentimes, trying to search for a preschool program that's going to be a fit for their child is very, very stressful. And so I think that sometimes we forget that our prospects are going through a stressful, guilt-ridden, potentially unnerving time, because putting their baby or their child in a daycare center is it's a tough decision for many. I don't think people show their stress around it. They don't show their emotion around it. I think that a lot of that is hidden. But I think that it is a stressful time for moms because they feel really, really guilty about putting their child in a program, unless they're really, the child might be in pre-K age and ready for socialization to get ready for kindergarten. And in that case, is probably not as much of a guilt situation. But I think that we need to be cognizant of the emotion that goes in people's heads and hearts when they're searching for childcare. And I think if we can get in touch with that emotion and bond with people and build rapport during the tour and understand and be empathetic with them, you will do much better at rocking your tours and closing your tours. So that's the first point I wanted to make, is that I think we sometimes do tours that are too routine. They're certainly too long. They're not customized enough. They're not personalized to the needs of the mom. And I have a whole process for how to determine the hot buttons or needs for the mom, but I'm not going to talk about that today. What I want to talk about is how to close it. So a lot of times we will get people asking us, I get this question all the time, is what's the language around closing my tour? How can I close my tour and offer care and invite them to enroll in a way that feels warm, genuine, and elegant? And I'm going to give you some of that languaging, but before I do that, it's also a mindset. And so I just want to set it where there's really two tools that I want you to take away from this class. The first tool is just thinking about your mindset on a typical tour. Are you thinking about your tour and your prospect in a way that will be loving and open and honest and authentic to them and show off your school in the best light, but not be afraid to make the offer, not be afraid to close it, to actually sell it, and make that invitation. So that's the first thing, is fear. Most of us don't close our tours because we're afraid of rejection. We're afraid that mom's going to say no, or you just don't want to come off as being salesy. And so many, 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 many directors in our industry and owners, anybody giving the tour, struggles with this. And so if you find yourself struggling with it, just know that it's natural. because most of you didn't come from a sales background. You didn't come from, you know, a place where you were taught sales skills. So mindset is number one. Your number one tool for how to close tours and grow your enrollment and stay full forever is thinking about your mindset around closing the tour. And so once you get that straight in your head, which is that it's okay to make the invitation. In fact, if you don't make the invitation, here's the real deal. You are being of disservice to your clients. If you do not offer what you know is excellent, high quality care that you have worked so hard to bring under your roof, and you do not offer it to that family, you are being of disservice to that child. And so when you get that thinking right, you will start rocking your tours, because you'll feel really, really good about making the invitation and not feel apologetic about selling. So that's the first thing. And so then when you get your mindset and you get that clarity, then how do you actually language the tour at the end? How do you language the close so that it can feel authentic and elegant and warm and loving and of service? So just be thinking sales equals service. I got this from a gentleman that I follow who's amazing at sales, and I want to bring him to a future summit because he teaches a concept called the Sales Mountain. His name is Eric Lofholm, and he helps people get around this mindset shift of sales equals service. And so you're being of service when you offer the invitation to enroll. Because if you don't help your prospect take that next step, they've just wasted time. They've wasted 45 minutes taking a tour, and now they don't know what the next step is. And so everything you do needs to have a call to action in your enrollment building process. And the call to action on the tour is, Ms. Jones, I'm so happy that we got to meet you today. I hope that we answered all your questions. You can certainly ask her at that moment if there's anything else that she's thinking of that she has questions about. And that's a very common thing that you guys do. Typically, you say, if you have any other questions, let us know and give us a call. Take care and bye-bye. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard that on a tour when I've done mystery shopping. And so, and because everybody says that, it's also very boring because you're not standing apart from your competitors. And so you're missing a huge, huge, huge opportunity, guys, when you don't close your tours effectively. And so what I would like you to do is practice in the mirror the sentence, something like, we think that you and your child, and we'd love to be of service to your family, and we'd love to earn your business. And so today, here we are at the end of the tour. I'd love to invite you to go ahead and let's just get you registered. It's a very short registration form that I can walk you through, and the registration fee is $150. I think that you would be an amazing fit in Teacher Sally's room, in the toddler room, and your child would really thrive there. So are you ready at this point to get started? Or I'd like to invite you just to get started. How can I help? So can you see how that like feels very professional, warm, and invitational? It's not really selling. I had one director close the tour by telling me that she wanted to help me get this off of my to-do list and just make a great choice and be happy that we found the best choice for my child. And so she actually framed it like that, and I enrolled. Because she's helping me. She's being of service, helping me take a big decision off of my plate and helping me make that step to move forward. And that's what your clients need. That's what your prospects need, guys. And so for you to just stand at the counter and say, call me if you have any questions, thank you, is not being of service to them. Commonly, you'll then get, even if you go through that, the languaging I just gave you about making the invitation, and we think you'd be a great fit, your child would really thrive in Miss Sally's room. You can also say something really charming like, well, this would be if the child was with the mom on the tour, is if you got to meet the child, is something about the child relative to that you really want to make a difference in that child's life. Or I can't wait to be able to see Johnny playing on the playground every day. He's got the cutest smile, and I would just love to be able to see him every day and engage with him here at the school. And so you're welcoming the family by basically saying, making the invitation with regard to something sweet and cute and charming about the child and your relationship with the child. So that's also a very, very wonderful and warm and authentic way to close your tour. And then what you'll oftentimes get is if she just started touring, that mom, she's got 3 more appointments at other preschools, you will oftentimes get the objection of, well, I just started looking and I still have some other schools to look at, in which case the languaging that I would use there is, that's fantastic. We want you to look at as many programs as possible to make the right choice. It would be nice if you had a childcare checklist on hand, you as the director, that you can offer to her as a tool that might be slightly customized to what you offer. So there's a little secret sauce there, and we'll dig more into that in the boot camp. To address the objection is fantastic. We encourage families and parents to look at as many preschool programs as they can before they make the choice. I know it's a really important choice. We actually have a checklist tool here in the enrollment packet or in the tour packet that we would like you to utilize when you are making your selection and doing your tours. We hope that is of service to you. And when do you think that you will be done with all of your touring? Just ask that question and then stay silent. And she'll say, probably by the end of next week. And then what you want to do is you want to set the next step to follow up with her and say, fantastic. I'm really, really glad to know that you'll be, probably done by next Friday. I'd love to give you a call that day. Can I call you on Friday morning and just check in with you and see where you're at in your decision? Again, stay silent. You don't need to be nervous about this. Just ask the question and wait for the response. And she will 99% of the time say, absolutely, of course, would love to have you follow up with me. And then follow up with her. Put it in your calendar and actually follow up. These are your hot leads, guys. So you want to make sure that you are really focusing on your hot leads, your hot prospects, the ones that are just about to say yes. And by following up with her on Friday morning as promised, you will show that you do what you say, you're professional, you're on it, you're scheduled, you're not a hot mess with your calendar, right? You're on it. And that's what you need to show and demonstrate.